Hello everyone, how are we all doing today? I have a fantastic guest lined up for you today, but first I just wanted to remind you all that we do have a Saturday stream coming up. It's a big announcement stream at 5 o'clock on Saturday, and I genuinely cannot wait to have as many of you here as possible for the big announcement. It's going to be absolutely fantastic because it's probably one of the biggest things that has happened to me as a cosplayer since I started, basically. And I've had a lot of really cool big stuff happen since I started cosplaying, but this is probably going to be the biggest. It's going to top the pile, if you will. But for today, ladies and gentlemen, I would very much like to welcome you all to the stream because today I have a fantastic photographer, not a cosplayer, but a photographer, and he goes by Shooting Cosplayers. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only Richard Burge from Shooting Cosplayers. Richard, how devil are you, sir?
I'm really good, thanks.
Good.
Hello everyone, thanks for coming.
Really, really awesome having you on. We were just chatting just now about bits and bobs before the stream. I know I went a bit earlier than I normally do today. I know I go early about 20 minutes before, but because I had, everything going on with the lasgun and stuff, I packed up a bit earlier. I've got a few more bits to do, and then I'll be able to jump on and do the stream. So I wanted to make sure I was clean hands, well, as clean as they can be. We've still got some black paint and stuff on some of my fingers and stuff. But anyway, right, so let us transition over. Richard Burge, Shooting Cosplayers. Brilliant. So, I think I'm going to start off. I think I'll start off with quite a big one, if anything. How long have you been doing photography?
Cosplay since September 2017, so not very long.
Oh, wow. So, still fairly newish then,
yep.
if anything, to... Well,
we bought a camera for my son for a college course, which he then didn't enjoy, so stopped using it. And I thought, well, I'll have a go then. And I tried some landscape, and I tried some flowers and bees and all sorts of stuff like that. And then I went to a family fun day where the 501st were there, and I absolutely loved taking pictures of people in cosplay. And that was it. Then that was what I wanted to do with it.
You were hooked, if anything.
Yeah.
You were hooked. See, I really like that you just discovered your love for photography just so randomly by chance because you'd gotten your son a camera and he just didn't quite fancy it. I like that. That's quite a cool way, I think, to start off with getting into photography, because I've spoken to some photographers myself over the time I've been a cosplayer, being like, how do they start off and everything, and they just mostly say like, oh, it's just been a passion my whole life, and it's like, that's really cool. But I like how yours was just like, I thought I'd give it a go. I love that. I
think you can tell that from some of my earlier shots.
Well, I was going to say, I've seen... Well, actually, I've been on your page now. We were just talking about this, actually. I was on your page back when you were Richard Burge Photography.
Yeah.
You were just Richard Burge Photography. I say just, but you were Richard Burge Photography. before the cosplay page and stuff started. Before the cosplay photography page, started. That's actually something I wanted to ask you. Something I've got down here. None of these questions are in order because I have a certain way I wanted to do it. But how did you get to Shooting Cosplayers as your page name? Because I remember Richard Burge Photography, but I remember one day trying to find Richard Burge Photography, and I had to message him and be like, "Is your page gone?" And you're like, "No, search for this one," and it was Shooting Cosplayers. And I thought it was the funniest name.
I think the name change is quite interesting because it's quite hard to change your name on Facebook. They don't really like it, and they turned me down the first couple of times. But I got to the point where I went through this process of trying landscape, trying event photography, all the other ones, just to see what I really liked. And then what I found was I really like taking pictures of people. Most people don't like their photo being taken, but cosplayers really do.
Cosplayers
so
really
you're like the best audience for me, or the best resort. So I went along to that family fun day, and then I was really, really lucky to go along to in quite near to where I live, the UK CGF. What's that? UK Comic Con
It was
and
the UK
Gaming
Comic
Festival.
and Gaming
Yeah,
Festivals.
it was the first one that Lisa ran, and it was fantastic. It was really good, great atmosphere,
her
really
events
nice
are just the
people.
best.
Got some good photos, and I went through this process of I only really wanted to take photos of cosplay, and I was more and more uncomfortable with the name Richard Burge Photography, because it was kind of like I was a little shop somewhere in a provincial town selling, pictures of babies and wedding photos.
Like your standard.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Hold
Which
on.
I know.
Let me do the.
That's the word, headshots. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. A lot of people make a living out of it, but it wasn't what I was doing, and I didn't think the name reflected what I was doing. And I thought, you know what, I'm committed to doing this. This is my hobby and my passion. The name should reflect that. And I was reading some jokes about photography, and it was what I've got on the back of my my Shooting Cosplayers t-shirt that we were talking about.
Oh yeah, would you tell the nice people what you've got on the back of your t-shirt? So good.
So I think it says, I can't remember without looking at it, but I think it says warning, I shoot cosplayers, and then underneath the picture of I think it's the logo, I've got I also sometimes frame them, because there's this old joke about
it's such a good joke though,
hanging people, and
I love it.
It's quite funny.
But the fact that I tell people about you, and it's like, oh yeah, my friend Richard Shooting Cosplayers, and they're just like, what? I'm just like, no, he doesn't photograph shooting, and they're like, oh, right. And I was like, no, he just has a massive hatred for cosplayers. He
just hunt them down.
Sees cosplayers and just like bang.
I hope that never actually happens. I'll have to change my name. If there's some American shooting, it'd be awful. Yeah,
that'd be awful. But no, normally the stories you hear about that is like somebody would be dressed up as, like, I don't know, Deadpool or something, with their swords and guns walking through a town, and then the police get called because someone has seen somebody walking around town with guns. It happened at MCM, didn't it? Some chap went out to do a photo shoot with someone, and someone called the police on them.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's happened to a friend of mine.
Wow!
I used to do a lot of when I was a younger man. I had better knees. I used to do a lot of live role playing, and we did a lot of airsoft military role playing. And a friend of mine, Rob, he's got so many guns, it's ridiculous. And he was coming back from an event with his bag of his gear, and he hadn't realised that he'd left it undone. So he had an M4 and some pistols and a shotgun, all BB safe weapons, but you don't know that if you can't see.
Well, if you're just looking at
it. And he got the police called on him, and they stopped him at the tube station. It was all fine.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite lucky in the fact that the weaponry I have looks so cartoony, if you will. Like, it's because, like, obviously you said airsoft guns, they look so real.
Yeah.
Like, they are, well, they're metal. Some of them are metal, some of them aren't plastic, some of them are full metal, genuine, like, and they look and feel, especially the metal ones, like legitimate weaponry. But I can see if I was walking around with my bolt pistol, for example, with the comical bullets hanging underneath it, or if I was walking around with, like, my power hammer or something, no one would really bat an eyelid. They'd just be like, what a weird man walking around with a giant, like, hammer. But people keep saying the cosplay community is toxic. It's about time someone did something about it. Oh, I tell you what, it can be pretty bad. It can be pretty bad. How is everyone in chat? I hope everyone hope everyone's here. I hope everyone has a good time. We've got 6 viewers today. It's awesome. But yeah, for those of you who just arrived, this is Richard Burge. He is Shooting Cosplayers. He's an absolute legend in the cosplay community. I think, if I'm right, and I don't know if anyone else in chat has, but I know Harry Stone, Ranger Creek Cosplay, and myself have been quite, like, lucky, if I will, to have... We had our own private photo shoot once.
Yeah, Bristol, that was.
Outside, it was... Where was it? Bristol? It wasn't Bristol, was it? It was Bristol.
Yeah. It was the first Bristol one. Yeah, that's right.
Next to a bus. And on the hill and stuff. Harry's one, where he's putting on his glove. He loves that one. Like, he loves that one. Oh, thank you so much, Dragonheart. Dragonheart has just dropped your links into the chat. We've got Facebook
thank you.
and Instagram in. Give Richard a follow. You'll see pictures of myself and Ranger Creek Cosplay on there, as well as many, many, many other cosplayers that Richard has shot. It's going to be the pun that's going to go through the entire thing now. But as many of you can see also, Richard is wearing an Iron Warrior Cosplay t-shirt. And what's really cool about this story is Richard did a photo shoot with me and Ranger Creek Cosplay, and he took that photo that's on the t-shirt, and then he edited it like that for me. And then I asked permission if I could use that image, and he absolutely, really kindly said yes. And as a massive thank you, I gave him an Iron Warrior Cosplay t-shirt, and I love that you're wearing it on the stream today. I love that.
Well, I thought I should show my support.
I love it. Thank you so much. I love that t-shirt. Especially, there's also the really funny t-shirt that you made during one of the streams, which was, "Hey, big robot man." I actually might make one or two of those for shits and giggles because they're just really funny. They're just really funny. So now we have a bunch more questions for you, and some of the questions I have are very sort of photography related, obviously being the fact you're a photographer. But what is the most expensive camera? Like just the camera. What's the most expensive camera that you've ever bought?
Mine. I switched over to mirrorless at Christmas, which was quite a big jump. Luckily, it's still Canon, so I can use my old lenses. But the main body and the lens was quite a lot of money. Luckily, I got a really good deal from a website, but yeah, $2,000. It's quite a lot.
Ooh, and is the question now then, is that just for the camera? That's without a lens? Is that just for the body?
That's
or is
for
that
this.
With
That's
a lens?
for a 24-105 L lens, which is like a really good.
Oh, so you get a lens,
good
and
range.
you don't just get the body without the lens, like.
No, it would have been about 3,000. So I got a really good deal. I probably wouldn't have spent as much on it as that otherwise, but it's just let me do so much more than I could have done in the past.
Well, I mean, it shows, especially because the amount of photos I've seen of yours that come up on my feed and through your page, and especially ones of myself and Ranger Creek, who has just joined the chat, by the way. Hello, Ranger Creek Cosplay. We were just talking about our photo shoot with the amazing Shooting Cosplayers when there's one of you with the glove like that with your gas mask on. It looks so cool. I love that shit. I love that photo of you. You were picking up a bunch of cameras just now before the stream started. That's another question I have for you: is how many cameras do you own now? Because I know you said you suffer from gas.
Yeah, I have a very bad case of gas, gear acquisition syndrome.
Gear acquisition syndrome.
There's always something I want to buy.
I love it.
And so at the moment, I've got the mirrorless, which I'm using a lot. I still have my Canon 60 with most of my original lenses, and I have a 50mm Sigma art lens, which I use quite a lot. Whenever a picture needs the background blurring out, which at conventions is really often because it's rarely a good background. That's a really good lens for that because it gives you a lot of control.
So would you say you have more cameras than lenses, or more lenses than cameras?
Lenses than cameras. They call it glass. Proper photographers, not like me, real ones. They call their lenses glass, and you should invest in glass because cameras will change and they will develop over time. So, I mean, the mirrorless one I've got is quite new. They're already bringing out one that will knock it into, the shade.
Yeah.
But lenses
you say
are
mirrorless. What do you mean by? I know how a camera works normally. It's like the two shutters do that, don't they? The one comes down.
So a mirror, a traditional camera has a mirror which reflects what you see through the lens up into the viewfinder.
Yeah.
So if I show you on this one, the light comes through here, goes onto the mirror up into the viewfinder here, and then you can see it. So you are looking through the lens.
Right.
Mechanically, that's not a great solution because you have to wait for the mirror to move when you take a picture. When it moves, you can't see what the picture is. A mirrorless one, it's got a sensor directly on the back, and in here is a tiny little LCD screen which shows you what the photo will look like, not what you're looking at. So if I underexpose, I won't really be able to tell with a normal mirror camera as well as I could through an LCD screen. A lot of people don't like them. I love it. It gives me so much more
Well, it gives you more control, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, some of the shots I've seen you produce is just like there's some you did recently with Ed.
Yeah, Beast Awakens.
Beast Awakens.
Batman. Yeah.
Oh wow, some of those shots. Oh, especially of Poison Ivy as well. She had. Oh,
that was Poison Kiss cosplay.
Poison Kiss cosplay.
Yeah, she just. We went to this stately home with fantastic manicured gardens. It was just the best place for a Poison Ivy shoot.
Honestly, she looked stunning, and he looked amazing. The shot you did of him as like Bruce Wayne, if you will, but out of Batman. But you see dude, like the editing you do is beyond. Like, it's so hard to get across on stream how amazing his work is. You guys need to go to his Instagram and his Facebook. Go to his Instagram first. That's where like I've seen most of the really, really just. Like, that's where it mostly comes up on my feed, because my Facebook's just trash. But, like, my Facebook is just memes and shitposting. I think everything gets buried in it, and I love it. Yes, indeed, you met, I believe, the 601st. Sorry, the 601st, sorry. The orange...
Oh, yeah, at London Film Comic Con.
Yeah.
That was awesome. They're a great
Blackfire
bunch.
was just saying we met him at LFCC. And they're such a good group of people.
They really are.
I love them. I've actually had them on stream, and they were such
I
a
watched.
barrel of laughs. They were such a barrel of laughs. I loved it. Absolutely awesome. So obviously, with cosplay and photography and everything being sort of your passion, what is your day job? Is it your day job, or do you have?
No. I work for a local council looking after customer service teams. So it's a proper, sensible job. They have no idea what a complete nerd I am. Or at least I try and pretend they don't. But I've been doing that for about 10 years.
You got to keep that on the down low. I worked in an office myself. You got to keep it on the down low until someone you know comes in. I know. I said 501st, but I corrected myself and then said 601st. Sorry.
So they're technically 100 better.
They're 100 better. They're 100 better. The thing is, I always get confused just with the numbers mainly because I'm really bad with numbers and stuff. But how dare you, sir? How dare you? Yeah.
Now, the day job is quite serious, especially during our current circumstances, coronavirus, and having to set up helplines and all sorts of stuff. But that's fine. That's what I get paid to do. And I've never really wanted to turn photography into a job. I know it'd be nice to do a job that I genuinely love. But I'm worried that if I did that, I'd end up not loving it. So I'd rather do it when I want to do it.
It was the same. It was the same here with, for example, when I did commissions. I was so worried that if I made it like a thing I had to do, like someone messaged me, "Can you build me this prop?" It's like, yes. So then now I get given that person's hard-earned money to build a prop for them. So it's got to be good and everything. But I was really worried. It would get to the point where it would be, I would fall out of love with it, and then I would no longer want to do it. Luckily, that isn't the case. If anything, it made me love it more, and it helped support it. So, but I hope one day you get to stretch your legs and just take a year off and just go and
that'd be nice.
Do photography at like as many events as you can. Like,
well, no, I think I have to leave that to Donald Manning. Because he
Donald
goes to
Manning.
him and his clones go to every con.
I know, Donald Manning. He told me I had a lift with him at one point. I was chatting to him, and it was like the end of the convention season. And I asked him how many cons he'd done, and I think he had done over 70 or something that year. And I'm like, that's just and oh, don't even though. He gets invited to some of them with a pass.
Yeah.
But most of them, like I'm talking 85 to almost 90% of them, he goes himself, and all of it comes out of his own pocket.
Yeah.
So I was really cheeky and was like, "So how much have you spent?" And he told me how much, and it hurt to hear how much he had spent on.
Yeah. He goes quite far afield. I know he goes to some
very far.
in Poland and Ireland a lot. So
yeah,
his investment in that is a lot.
It's crazy. But then obviously disaster, his car got broken into and all of his camera equipment got stolen, which was just fucking devastating to see.
It was, but there was a massive outpouring of support for him following that, which I thought was just awesome.
Yeah, was it a GoFundMe?
Yeah, there was a GoFundMe set up, and cosplayers came out of the woodwork to help him out, and and photographers as well. Obviously, we all got involved, and I think that's we talked earlier on. I think you said something about the cosplay community can sometimes be a bit toxic.
Oh yeah,
it can also be incredible.
So supportive. I feel you guys, like my followers on my cosplay page and stuff like that, I feel like they're top tier. I feel like there's like no toxicity in that at all. Like, and I love it. But people came out of the blue to give him. I mean, I donated. I remember donating to him. I donated what I could, and he raised enough money to get a whole brand new set of kit, and then boom, he didn't let it stop him. He just jumped straight back on the horse, and he was out again. Boom, next season of cosplay stuff, and he was just out again. I think he's changed how he keeps his stuff now, though. I think, if I'm right in saying, I think he's changed that now. Yeah, you're right. Casual props. Yeah, the GoFundMe started on the first day. And ended at the end of the day. It was fully funded and more. It was fully funded and more. He honestly, when it comes, especially Donald Manning, for the fact that he does it for nothing. I mean, I'm not saying you do. You do it for nothing as well. But I think that's mainly why people loved him so much, that they were happy to donate the money to him. Is because not once in his life has he asked for anything back.
Yeah,
he just does them, genuine. Edits them, puts them up. People share them. And hopefully credit him. I try to credit as many photographers as I can. I try to tag you as much as I can in the photos that we use. But I actually use the photo of myself on your T-shirt.
Oh, this one? Yeah.
I use that photo so much. That's like my go-to photo right now. That's my photo on my stream. That's the photo I use at the moment. And I know for a fact that if this year hadn't have gone the way it had, and we did a bunch more conventions, and I know me and Harry would be doing a bunch of UK comic and gaming festivals, we would have met you and gotten another metric ton of photos done, and I would have a brand new set that I could just use. Honestly, it was so nice. It was absolutely awesome. I know when I met you for the first time was at UK Comic and Gaming Festival, I think.
Actually, it was London MCM.
Was it MCM?
And I lay on the floor to take a picture of you, which ended up on Cosplay Zine magazine, I think it was. No, that was the first time I seen it.
That was the first time.
Yeah, I was blown away. I saw you stomping around, and I thought, I've got to get a picture of him. That's amazing. Oh man. Yeah, no, I thought it was fantastic.
So hold on now. Then, if I'm right, you were there, and there were other photographers with you. There was like 6 of you all together wanting to get photos of the suit.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a real bun fight trying to get time. So
I was there all day. Like I was happy to just chill out, whatever. But I remember now, and you full on the ground and took a photo upwards. I really hope I have this right. Do you remember when I was on the cover of the magazine?
Yeah.
That was yours.
I'm so
glad I remembered. It was, and it was back then. It wasn't Shooting Cosplayers, was it? It was Richard Burge Photography.
That's right. Yeah, that's before it changed the name.
Yeah, that was, and I have that magazine still. I was on the cover of Cosplay Zine magazine. And
hang on a minute.
This absolute legend. Let me. No way.
Oh yes, way.
You have it. Look at it.
It's still in its cellophane.
You still have it in the wrapping.
Collector's edition. There we go.
Oh my god.
There we go. That's the picture.
I cannot tell you how happy I was when I messaged Richard and was like, "Hey, can I use your photo for a cover of a magazine?" And he was just like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Do you want anything for it?" And he was like, "No, just credit me." And I'm like, "Of course I'm going to credit you." Like, what an absolute legend. Like, just stopped for 30 minutes for photos apparently with the Artemis Blackfire and the 601st. That is awesome. See, just like the fact that you have time for people, it's so without photographers, photographers are so like not left in the dark then, but like they need to be brought into the light more because without them we don't have the photos. Like without you, I wouldn't have had any of the photos. I wouldn't have had that Cosplay Zine photo to start with.
But it's a very symbiotic relationship because I mean you're excited about that cover. You can't understand how excited I was as well to have my photo on a cover.
I think, if
And
I'm right, there's 2 more of your photos in the magazine as well, and one of somebody else's.
yeah, I think so.
Oh, it was honestly wholesome. We're getting wholesome and it's true though. Like with cosplayers and photographers go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But I actually had, believe it or not, this is the sort of the downside of that relationship is after. You know, there was a chap with that Steadicam who did that video of me. He came back and came forward. He sent me the video and everything. He put me in a video. I really, really loved that. Then there was yourself. Took some photos of me, and I used them for Cosplay Zine and everything, and credit to you. There was one chap there, and I wish I knew his name because I would absolutely call him out. He did not inform me that he was going to upload them to Getty Images.
Oh, that's so shitty.
Yeah, he uploaded 6 or 7 to Getty Images, and they're £367 each to buy without my credits. Credits to him, but there's no one knows who it is.
There is a commercial side of photography that those people inhabit, and that's not my thing. I think it's not illegal.
No,
they're allowed to do it.
I did, but
it's just such a shitty thing to do.
I contacted Getty Images, and I don't know if they should have, but they did. They were just like, "Oh God, here's his email. Go contact him." So I contacted him, and we had a 30 email battle back and forward for like a week or so. Like constantly checking my phone every 2 seconds, just putting down refreshing, and him being like, oh, it's fair use, and I'm like, but you haven't credited me, you haven't linked me, you haven't mentioned who I am. Eventually, battle was won, ish. They're still up, they're still for sale. Any person can buy them, sadly, and use them for anything they want, which is a massive buzzkill. Because I don't want them used for anything. I want them to be used for things I support. Like, if an event I very much dislike uses that image for their advertisement, I'd very much, want that to not happen. But he did eventually contact Getty Images, and they did change the information to actually have my real name and my cosplay page name in the images. I'm still a bit sore about it today. I try to forget about it, but so that's why if I was meant to go to MCM this year, and that's why if I was to go to MCM, I was going to ask the photographers, if I didn't know them, of course, do you work for Getty Images? Are you planning on selling these images? Because if so, I'd want to sign something, but...
Well, if they get a model release, and certainly in America this is a big thing, they get a model release normally. They don't tend to do that in England. If they get one, then that's, you've given permission for your image to be used. Well, it's completely legal for a photographer to take your picture, or anyone's picture, except children sometimes, and then sell their picture with your image on it. There are some things you can do, and one of them is contact them and say if you're identifiable, which might be a little bit difficult when you've got your helmet on. But if you're identifiable, you can say, I don't consent to this and I want you to take it down. And if you don't, then I will contact my solicitor, and they'll often take it down. Although they've got the right to sell the picture, they should normally get a model release if you're in it. The best way to get them to take it down is also, if you're a girl, you say, you know what, I'm 17, don't you? And they'll take it down right away.
Oh wow, Jesus. Apparently that happens all the time. Just report them. They can get banned from events if this and that. With the new GDPR stuff, this is a whole new thing. With them selling the images that could be used to identify you is a really grey territory. Yeah, I mean,
it's difficult.
Luckily, I've got some pictures of me in the suit with the same suit from that year without a helmet. Luckily, so if I do need to prove that it's me, I can do that. Plus, if anything, I could wear the suit to. Like, if they were like, you've got a court date on this date, I would wear the suit to there and then take my helmet off and be like, so, here I am.
The whole copyright issue in photography, it can be a bit crazy. I mean, there was a legal battle last year or a couple of years ago of a wildlife photographer that set this camera up in the jungle, and this monkey or primate of some sort had triggered it, and the and the battle was whether or not the monkey owned the rights to the picture, because he's the one that triggered the picture.
Was that
Eventually
Peter?
he won.
Was that Peter? Was that Peter? You know, the animal activist people.
I don't. Yeah, Petter. That's the one. Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah.
Petter. Peter.
Peter Petter.
Pickled peppers.
Yeah, they're the ones that were suing on behalf of the monkey.
That's insane.
I'm saying monkey. I don't know. It's a monkey. It might be a primate.
I think it was a monkey. It
is insane.
I guess. It was.
Yeah. But it was found in the photographer's favour, but I think he expended quite a lot of resources fighting that battle.
Oh, that's insane. You can invoke your right to erase under GDPR. What is GDPR?
I should know this because it's my field. I think it's the General Data Protection. I can't remember what the A is for. GDPR regulations. That's it. And that sort of took over from the old data protection rules, and you do have the right to be forgotten, so you can ask for your images to be taken down. I don't know when it comes to photography that's sold how that all works. I've kind of avoided it myself I don't sell photos. If I take a photo, it's for me and for the photographer, and hopefully for other people to enjoy.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not in it for money.
See, it's rare with well, I say rare. I actually know 3 or 4 photographers personally, like as friends, like yourself, who do it because they just want to. They don't do it for the money or anything, which is really nice. But I
imagine
General Data Protection Regulations, GDPR. There you go. Thank you so much for that. But back to the positive side of things. Let's get it back over to the positive side of things. What is in your sort of case, and I might know the answer to this one, I'm not sure, but what is the best location you've ever shot at?
Probably, I think I know what you're going to say. I did a power station photo shoot. My brother works for a power station company, and he let us, or the company let us do an Avengers shoot there.
Oh wow!
So we had full access to this brand new power station. For a day. It was great fun. The only issue with it is I think I've got a lot better since then, and I could do better. So I really want to go back again.
Yeah,
probably got to leave it a little bit, let him talk his bosses into it again. But yeah, that was a really good location.
Power station. That is crazy.
Yeah, done a good one at King Alfred's Tower. That was a Tangled shoot. Again, Beast Awakens.
Beast Awakens.
Yeah, and Amanda, can't remember her tag, Instagram tag. I think she's Amanda 5000, as Rapunzel. Yeah, that was good fun.
Oh, man, you've done some really good ones. I know Ranger of Krieg Cosplay and I have one planned. And my Krieg is coming along. My Krieg is coming along very quickly. Just you wait. After lockdown, there's going to be a trench shoot where we're going to...
I think we'll wait until the weather's cooler, because climbing up to where we need to be is going to be a bit of a job.
Oh, yeah. Especially in a
I was thinking... I know. Well, I'm glad you think that. At the time, I wasn't sure if you're going to go in your Iron Warrior.
Oh,
that would be a real challenge.
We would have to carry it up bit by bit. That would be a nightmare.
Yeah. We'll find a way.
This one's going to be 2 Kriegy boys, trench warfare. I think Harry's going to do probably both of his Kriegs. Like, he's got more than one. I think he's got more than 2, actually. I'm not sure. I know he's got a Commissar. So there's definitely going to be one of him pointing and me, like, charging because, got to listen to the Commissar. Alice Clark.
That could work really well, because I really like photography is obviously, I really love that hobby. It goes hand in hand with editing. And I really like composite editing, putting things in that weren't there originally and taking things out. So we could take some pictures of him in all of his different costumes as different characters in the same photo.
Yes.
That'd be good.
Harry, I hope you're hearing this. I hope you're hearing this. You
could be a battalion all on your own, Harry.
This is so good. It'll be one photo with like 300 or 400 Harrys and one Commissar Harry just pointing at all the other Harrys to go and attack and die for the Emperor. That is awesome. So something obviously there's no favoritism here. But if you had to pick, who's your favorite person to shoot with?
Oh.
I know you've done a lot with Beast Awakens. I know you've done a lot of stuff with Beast Awakens.
The Somerset cosplayers, they're a lovely bunch. They really are.
Aren't they just? They're the nicest people.
So all of them There are, I know quite a lot of cosplayers from Cornwall. So you know, trying to think of names off the top of my head now. Yeah, I probably won't say individual names actually, but what I really like is anyone that is really committed to their cosplay. It doesn't matter what the cosplay is, but I get the best photos, I think, from people that are really prepared to pose and put everything into it, because they just come out as better photos.
I love that. Ranger Creek said, I'll bring both. And then, yes! And he said, don't tempt me. I'll make a quartermaster as well. I swear to God.
Well, tell him you can just make an entire command group and we'll just shoot the lot.
Yeah, you know, it'd be the best. I mean, I only have the one. I'm probably only going to have the one, but we'll see what happens. I said that back when I had the Iron Warriors. Like, only the one Space Marine, and then I've got the Grey Knight and stuff now. But I tell you what, though, with that one, you're going to have so much fun editing that, because there's going to be you're going to be editing the las guns shooting, you're going to be editing explosions, and it's going to be so grimdark. It's going to be dank and dark, and so we're going to be taking them during the day, and it's going to be bright and happy and awesome. And me and Harry are going to be there. And then you're going to edit them and bring them down into the Warhammer 40k universe. It's going to be amazing.
You know that. I'm really looking forward to that. I like learning new skills. So the one I did with Beast Awakens recently, where he was Batman, there's a photograph I took of him on the steps of like a mausoleum, and it was bright sunshine. Literally, it was like 28 degrees, boiling hot.
One of the hottest days, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was in like a t-shirt and shorts, and I was thinking this is too hot, and he's in full rubber. Yeah, so I took that photo, bright burning sunshine, and I learned how to turn it into moonlight.
Mate,
which was a lot of fun. Yeah, you can learn anything.
Honestly, I think I can say safely from Harry as well that we are looking forward to this so much. Do you know one thing I really love about yourself as well is the amount of patience you have? Because like Harry came over, Harry was doing his stuff, making that and the other, and then I would go, hold on, and I'd go over and I would adjust Harry and tuck this in and hide that and do his collar and stuff. And then he'd come over to me and adjust my chains and move this and that and move this and tell me to stand like that and tuck things in and all that. And the amount of patience you have for that, just to make sure that the photo is perfect. And it's just it's nice to have, because I know a bunch of photographers that I don't know personally, but they would just see you at a con and then just like, okay, and you're like, wait, my helmet's like half on. Like Harry would be putting my helmet on and they'll snap off a bunch of pictures, and it's like, okay.
Well, I want to get the best picture I can.
Yeah.
It's also quite often me figuring out how I'm going to shoot it. So if any moment where you are adjusting your costume or doing something else is more time for me to think about, God, have I got the right settings for this? What angle should I use? How am I going to get rid of the gaggle of children running behind you? There's a lot. There's a lot to take into consideration.
God, yeah.
It's incredibly helpful having somebody along. So when I'm taking a picture with one person, if they've got a friend that can help out and straighten clothes or cloaks or flip the cloak, that's incredibly helpful. And yeah, it's well worth the time investment.
It's great having a Harry. Everyone in chat has.
Everyone should have a Harry.
Yeah. Everyone should have a Harry. That's becoming a running thing now. Like, I'm gonna have to do we're gonna have to do something now where I'm gonna have like everyone should have a Harry. I love that. That is absolutely awesome. So when like you said in regards to like stuff that you've taken in the past and all this different, like all the cool locations you've been to and like all the cool editing and stuff that you've learnt, what sort of got you into going to specific events, or did you just decide to just go to any and all events? Like that you could, like any events that you could.
When I first started, the UK CGF ones they're just such positive places to be. Great cosplayers.
Lisa's events are amazing.
Yeah, she's really good, and so they're really positive. I try to go to as many of those as I can. I thought as I was learning to take photos, there was a moment when I thought I'd really like to go to like Birmingham or London MCM because they're quite big, but I'm not sure I'm good enough. And like a lot of people, there's this thing called imposter syndrome where you think, oh my God, what will I do if everyone finds out I don't know what I'm doing, and everyone else seems to have their shit together and I'm just struggling along. I have that a lot, and I constantly compare myself against people who I look up to as incredible photographers or great managers in my work life, and somebody said to me, "Go watch this video about imposter syndrome. You'll understand what you're doing and why you're really how you're self-sabotaging." So I had that moment when I was deciding whether or not I should go to bigger events, and I thought, you know what, I'm good enough. And if my photos aren't as good or different and not as popular as other people's, that's fine. I'm not doing it for other people. I'm doing it for me. And I went to the bigger events and found that they were just as much fun as smaller ones.
Honestly, I think
yeah.
I think I can completely agree with you on the whole imposter syndrome thing, because it's the same with the cosplay community. I think it's the same with all walks of life, really. But like, for example, I look up to Ranger Creed Cosplay when it comes to like the cosplay and stuff that he's done, because the Creed cosplay he's done, I went into thinking, oh, I've got the trench coat already. I've got the laser file for the gun ready. I could build the gun. I was really confident about building the gun. I've got a trench coat and stuff. The amount of stuff I've had to sort out, learn, and get sort of into, and the amount of stuff that I missed, like different, like I thought I'd have this really cool piece on my helmet, but I can't have that piece on my helmet because I'm a different version of, you know, there's so much to go through, and I had no idea. It's why I look up to him to the point where I go to him for all information. I send him pictures way before I've even thought about posting them to be like, is this right? Does this look good? Is that okay? Like, I made a bayonet that was like that long, and I popped it on the front of the gun, so I showed a picture to Ranger Creed Cosplay, and he was just like, nope, needs to be like that long. And I was like, oh, damn, thanks for letting me know. So I made another one. And, you know, without that, what I have as a finished product wouldn't look as good, because it needs, like, it's going to need to go that much further for it to look right.
Yeah.
Because I had the idea of, like, you know, I'll do this and I'll add this and the stock will be that. And then when he gave me the measurements of his gun, his revised measurements, without those, I probably would have gone tits up and everything. So that's why it's always nice to look up to other people and everything. Mwahahaha, you thought I was going to be an... Yeah, I did think it was going to be an easy cosplay. He just put, mwahahaha, you thought it was going to be an easy cosplay. I did. I actually thought it was going to be an easy cosplay, but boy, was I wrong. Boy. So, you know, yeah, it's the same in all walks of life. Like, I know there's a bunch of people in chat, Pingthorn, saying imposter syndrome is pretty much how I exist. Like,
it's incredibly, that's what's weird for me. I thought it's incredibly common. Most people have it at some point or another, and it sort of stems from that everyone's better at something than I am. There's nothing I'm really great at, is that feeling. That's the very root of it all, I guess. But it's the same for all of us. One of the things that I've tried to teach myself was not to chase likes and follows and, you know, things like that. On my Instagram has got, I don't know, I think we've got like 1,200 people on it following me. It would be very easy to start working only to get likes, and that's not why I started this, and it's not why I want to do it. No. If I get likes or if I get followers, that's great. I like having an audience, but there's a real risk that becomes your reason for doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and honestly, in the end, that shouldn't be. You know, that shouldn't be the main thing, at least.
No, it's nice to have. Yeah. It's nice to have an audience, because when I first started, I did feel like I'm doing these photos and I'm really enjoying them and I like them, but no one to talk to them about. So having people on there and having a community building around that is really positive. But there is a risk that you can end up doing it only for that reason. I would encourage anyone that cosplay what makes you happy. And if you buy it, or if you make it out of your closet, or if you spend lots of money on it, it doesn't really matter. If it makes you happy, then that's the purpose. And it's just, yeah, it's the same photography. I'll take photos that I like to take photos of. It's not about making money off it. It's not about getting likes for me. Although that's I do awesome. Like likes.
That's as we say in the chat quite often. That is wholesome as hell. That is so wholesome. That's awesome. But in you know, like in regards to like the likes and stuff, I know it wasn't. I don't know if it was recent. Was it like this year? You had 996 or something on Facebook, and I was just like, nope, this man needs more likes.
That was really good when you did a shout out for me, and we tipped over 1,000 faster than I could respond to it. So
yeah, that was good. That was so good. You're at 1,000 and what now? 60.
Yeah, look.
You're something like that. 1,000 and something. I think we had a look before the stream.
Yeah, it's 1,202 now.
Oh wow, wow. That is crazy. That is insane. Is that on Instagram or Facebook?
That's on Facebook. On Instagram.
Wow, that's crazy. I think my mod has your links as well. We can throw the links up in the chat. People can go have a look. Right, I have a few more here for you.
Okay.
What's you've spoken about this UK Comic and Gaming Festival a lot. Would you say that's your favourite convention to do?
Yes,
it's probably where you're most well known. Like everyone sees you.
Yeah, I feel very welcome there. The very first one I went to, I was talking to Lisa's husband Graham, and he said, "How you find it?" Because it was their first one in Taunton. And I said, it's great. It's a really good atmosphere. I've been to a few other conventions. It's a really good atmosphere. The cosplay is really good. There's just really good vibe about it, a very welcoming and positive vibe. And that's the same at every event they do. Even when things are going horribly wrong and they're rushing around like blue-ass flies trying to get things sorted out, they're still welcoming and they're happy to see you. So... yeah, that's probably my favourite. I like big events, obviously. I like London.
Oh yeah. Like I like big and small.
LFCC because you see there's a lot more people to meet and see. But I always feel most comfortable at one of the UK CTF ones.
I like that. That is because I'm just thinking now. I was actually just thinking there for a second. You've been to how many events now?
Oh, I don't know.
Because you've been to a fair chunk. I know that much.
Yeah, quite a few.
I feel like almost like half the events I've been to last year, I think I'd see you there. It would either be you or Donald Manning I'd see, or sometimes both.
Well, when you say Donald Manning, you mean one of Donald Manning's clones.
One of Donald Manning's clones.
It's not one person.
Sorry, one of Donald Manning's clones. We know he's not just one man. But
let me see. I've got just check my album. 1, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wait, do you have a list? Because I'm not gonna lie, that's something I've been trying to start doing, and I've done it on my cosplay page. Is starting making lists.
I've got I think about 40 albums, and there are a couple where I've got albums, more than one album per show.
Within
but I've probably been to 30 or so.
That's a lot of events especially with the amount of albums you've got and everything. And I like that you keep the photos as well. You've got them on record, on file, ready to go if people need them.
Another photographer said to me quite early on in my career, because I've got some friends who are professionals in different fields. So this one friend of mine is a dive photographer. That's how he started. He's a really good photographer, really knows the technical side of the job. And he said to me, keep your photos because you'll want to look back and see what you've learned. And yeah, so I've been really lucky in that I've met a lot of people who've been really supportive. Other photographers, like you said about Donald, and there's DC photos and
DC photos,
others.
yeah. So
Um,
many photographers. I love every photographer. That's so cool.
And Wilson, I don't need to say his surname. Everyone knows who Wilson is.
Knows who Wilson is.
They're really, really friendly and accommodating and supportive. It's not competitive in any way. So it's one of the reasons I've stuck around, because it's fun.
See,
nice
that's so. I love hearing that. That's properly made me happy, because I really hope it never gets to the point where someone says or does something that makes you not want to do it anymore. Because if that ever happens, all you have to do is one message to me, and we'll sort it out. Because that no one should badmouth photographers when they're just doing it for the love of it, rather than for the money.
You know, you were talking about that T-shirt I've got that I wear to events, Shooting Cosplayers. It's got a stormtrooper on the front. I had that made because I wanted people to be able to identify who I was.
Yeah.
And be a bit more reassured that I'll be a professional when it comes to, I mean, doesn't mean paid, but I'll be professional.
But you'll be more, yeah, exactly. You're not just someone going around with a camera and a hobby.
Exactly. There are guys with cameras that just like taking pictures of girls, and that's a bit creepy. So anything we can do to sort of make sure people feel comfortable is better.
Because I've seen, I think, one or two just go around, and you'll see them taking photos, and they will just shoot from girl to girl, as many girls as they can find. The more scantily clad, the better. You'll see that happen a lot, and it's just kind of like, oh, okay. And you go to their page, like you go ask them for their card, you get their card, you go to their page, and it's just girls and the occasional guy, and it's like, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's also, as you said, a little bit creepy. But I'd love to ask you though, how many shoots do you think you've done in total? Like the ones you did with Beast Awakens, like where you get the cosplayers, you go to a location, and it's specifically a day for shooting like that.
Probably only 4 or 5.
Oh wow!
I didn't do them for a long time when I started because of not feeling that I was going to be able to get the images I wanted to get.
Yeah.
But as I learned more and learned to compensate with some of my lack of skill with some skills in editing, it's quite hard to organise them because you got to find dates when you're all available and then hope that the weather's okay, find a good location, make sure you have permission to shoot there, and it's living in the southwest. It's not ideal because there's generally travel involved for everyone.
I think there will be a lot of travelling for you and for myself and Ranger Creek Cosplay.
Yeah.
I think to go where we want to go to do that shoot. I keep forgetting where it is. I know what it looks like. I've got the image in my head of what it looks like. I just keep forgetting where it is.
It's not that far from where I live.
It's not far from where you live,
but it's only like 45 minutes or something.
But it's going to be a fair chunk for Harry.
It's going to be. It's the biggest part of the travelling will be the walking up the hill.
Probably. Yeah. Probably. But we'll make it as real as we can. We'll play some Sabaton or something, and we'll charge up the hill. It'll be amazing. I love that. So with what we were talking about earlier, you do like random t-shirt editing and stuff, which is really cool. How many have you done? Have you done a bunch, or have you done?
Done a few. I tend to do what I think would be funny at the time. I quite often do edits of my friends, so I role play online with my friends.
Oh,
once
awesome!
a
What
week.
you playing?
At the moment, we're playing Starfinder, which is a spin-off of Pathfinder.
Awesome.
I'm playing a goblin, space goblin,
Cool.
called Rabid. He's Rabid Goblin. And so I will edit photos of our characters and things like that. It's quite fun. Or make them look stupid.
That I love. I like the one you did for me with the big robot man as well. You were just like, look, he's a big robot man. Everyone has been saying, can you make those t-shirts? I'm like, who's going to buy those ones other than everyone who was in chat that day?
To be honest, anyone that knows you.
Anyone that
just so they
can
can wear it when they see you.
They can just be like, oh, look, there he is. Slap on the t-shirt. Look, it's Big Robot Man. But you say, you say you're playing Starfinder and stuff like that. Do you enjoy stuff like that, like tabletop, like Warhammer? Do you like Warhammer?
I've been into it since I was tiny. I saw Star Wars at 7 when it came out.
Oh wow!
It completely shaped my life. I've been into science fiction and fantasy ever since. Comic book. I don't buy comic books. I can't afford them, but not the amount I'd want to buy. But I'm a massive geek. I mean, you can see from behind me. There's
you've got so much of a collection behind you, different figures and stuff. And your DVD collection looks very vast.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't actually watch them anymore. We tend to watch everything streaming nowadays, but I couldn't bring myself to give them up.
Oh God, no! Keep them while you've got them.
Yeah. So no, I've always been into science fiction, fantasy, and things like that. So role played in roughly the same group since we were 16. So that's why when I went along to Comic Cons, it was like, this is my home. Really, these are all the things that I like, all the cool stuff, and there's also cool people dressed as the cool stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you seen anything from something that you properly hold dear to yourself? Someone cosplaying as like. When I first Taunton UK CGF event, there's a guy there dressed as Luke Skywalker from Hoth in his flight suit, and I was I'd taken a picture of him, and I was with my friend Rob, who's also in the 501st, and I said, he looks so much like Luke Skywalker. And Rob said to me afterwards, you don't know, you made his day. You literally made his day when he heard you say that. Oh, see,
and
I
that's
love
fantastic. Yeah, it was really cool because there's this shared hobby, I suppose you'd call it.
Well, yeah. I
We
mean,
all
the
love
thing
it.
is, like, that guy must have put so much work into
Yeah.
his Luke Skywalker cosplay that when you said that, he must have just, as you said, it made his day. As your friend said, even like it made his day. Like I know Harry and myself. I know several people in chat. When someone comes up to them and just honestly tells them that what they've done is like an absolutely amazing cosplay. Like obviously, I've said this a few times now. When Ranger of Krieg cosplay and myself met for the first time, it was just it was instant. Like we saw each other. He saw the Space Marines. I saw a Krieg, and it was the coolest thing. We've literally been friends ever since. But do you know what's really funny is I don't know how long we've been friends. I need to try to work out how many years we've been friends because I have that album of the day we met, but I need to find out what year that was so I can work it out because I haven't actually worked it out. And I don't feel it's that long. I feel it's really, really long, but I have a gut feeling that when I check the dates, it's not going to be that long. But I feel like I've known the man for so long. We keep saying that we were separated at birth. I think is what we've said in the past. Like the amount of stuff that he likes and the amount of stuff that I like that we like watched as kids, like on TV and stuff, and the toys we had and the stuff we did. And it was just like, do you remember this? Yeah, I remember this. I remember this. It's just like, it's the coolest thing. Like, but so you like that kind of new stuff? Do you like Warhammer then? Are you a Warhammer fan?
Yeah. I used to paint figures a lot.
No way, that's so cool.
Yeah, I remember when I was 17, having several trains to get to Derby to enter the painting competition. I didn't do very well. I was not very good back then. I did get quite good at painting, but my eyesight wasn't. I did it too late because my eyesight for close-up stuff got poorer and poorer, so I had to stop. That's why I had some time to find another hobby when photography came up. But yeah, I play Warhammer, I play Blood Angels. Sorry.
Blood Angels, that's cool. I wouldn't have put you down for a Blood Angels kind of guy. But I see when you take pictures, you say about the like near side and far side, you do pop your glasses up when you take a picture, so it's easier for you that way rather than.
Yeah, you can adjust the camera I've got now to compensate for my glasses, so I can. But my long distance vision with glasses is great. So when I've got a cosplayer that's standing 20, 30 feet away, with glasses on, I can see them fine. But then when I put the camera to my eye, I'm looking at something that's like a few inches away, and I just have to pop my glasses up to see it, focus it properly.
Harry's confirmed it was 2017 we met, but we didn't start talking properly until 2018. So we've not been friends that long, but it feels like so much longer, and I love him to bits. It's awesome. Like we've been friends for ages, and I'm looking forward to more conventions and more photo shoots and stuff. So. In terms of like the actual photography like you do, I know you obviously mostly shoot outside. You use natural light and stuff. If you could pick, would you prefer just using natural light, or do you prefer like your studio lighting? It just sort of depends on the shoot you're doing, or.
I would, yeah, it does. I mean, so there are some things that it's easier to shoot in a studio. To get everything exactly how you want it. I don't have a studio at the moment, although I have plans to convert my garage when my youngest son goes to university, and then I'll be able to do all sorts of things. I've not had a lot of luck with lights though. Every time I turn up with flashes and triggers, remote triggers, it all conspires against me. It doesn't want to work, or I drop the damn thing like last time. So there's a whole area of photography I need to spend more time on. Where I'm using modifiers and lights and so on, but most of what I've done so far is natural light.
There was a chap I saw at MCM who was wearing his light. It was on his back.
Yeah, I saw him. That was really clever because they've got this rule. They won't let you bring anything in.
No, they won't let you bring a stand in that you have separate. So he had it above him. That was crazy.
Follow those rules religiously and always have, but it's a bit annoying when you get there and then you see somebody has got somebody to hand their stands in over the fence out the back, and they've got their lighting set up, and obviously the press can do that. So
yeah, well, the press have that, but I know like Sneaky Zebra when they do their videoing stuff. They don't have any other lights. They just use what they have, like the natural light and stuff. But then, have you done or considered doing any filming of any kind using your? I don't know if like you'd be into
it's
that.
not something I'm really not really into. It might be the same that in a few years' time I'll just suddenly go, you know what, I'm doing video now.
Yeah.
But still, photography has got plenty more to give me yet. So I've got a long way to go to get to where I want to be.
I thought you could. I've had a wind brace for someone's umbrella light at a meet before at MCM London. That's I've seen those cool umbrella ones. They're quite cool. I've also seen someone use one of their umbrella light things as an umbrella when it was starting to rain. They just popped it up and just held it above them because it was raining.
I know you'll have seen this before. I did get a new light.
Oh, let's have a look. We got a little unboxing going on here.
Yeah, I used this one at Weymouth. So this is just a portable one. You can screw it onto a light stand, but it's easy to bring into an event.
Yeah.
And it's a nice bright. You can see how bright that is.
Wow.
And you can do all sorts of colours.
Oh, it's RGB. That's insane.
Yeah, so you can change all the colours. It's really handy, and it's one of the things about photography lights at events. You're carrying everything all the time.
Yeah.
So it's a light like that that's portable and is always on is much easier to use than radio triggers and strobes and finding somewhere to set up a stand. This one you can just either hold it or you get someone to hold it nearby, and you've got a lot more options.
But that is a really cool, handy little light there. That is awesome. So, would you have any advice for somebody starting off in the whole photography side of things? If someone in chat, for example, was thinking of getting their first camera, whether it be like an Epson or a Canon or a,
whatever you've got, the best camera is the one you've got with you. Somebody said to me about having really expensive equipment, and there's this commonly used phrase, I suppose, in photography that it's not about the photographer. It's not about the equipment. It's about the photographer. It's in the same way that Picasso didn't have amazing paintbrushes. A photographer doesn't need an amazing camera. You can get amazing pictures with anything. And every photo that you admire now was taken on equipment that's out of date. Having said that, if you want to get across the ocean, you're probably better off in a ship than in a canoe. So having some decent kit really helps, but you don't have to spend a lot. You can, mobile phone photography is worrying me that it's so good at the moment.
We've had a question from Pinkthorn. So, do you? Oh, so you can do interactive lighting and stuff for later edits and stuff.
Yeah, you can edit light in, which is a lot of what I've been learning recently. There's some editing techniques where you can separate a person, change the lighting behind them, and then put them back in again, so you can light them accordingly.
That's cool. What sort of editing software do you use then? Do you use Photoshop or do you use something else?
Yeah, Photoshop.
Awesome.
Lightroom and Photoshop.
Lightroom.
So, yeah, Lightroom is like a processing photography package, and then Photoshop is to really change things.
Yeah, I like that. With for example, you were saying about like it's the photographer, not their equipment. Like someone could go out and spend 10 grand on a bunch of equipment, and start taking pictures, but the pictures could come out terribly. It is more about the person, because there's a friend of ours, I think you might know him as well, Ranger Creek Cosplay knows him, with the really cool Jurassic Park Jeep. He drives to events, and he has an amazing little dinosaur where when you rub it under its chin, it actually activates and like goes up and starts purring and its ears move and everything. He came to an event once when I was dressed as a Ghostbuster, and he had an old look down crankety little open the thing. He came over, he turned it once, he said, right, stay perfectly still, look down, took the lens off, waited a couple of seconds and put the lens back on. And I was like, that's the oldest camera I've ever seen. And he developed it and he showed it to me. And it literally, like, he cranked it again, it popped out and he checked it and had a look at it. It was such a good photo. I actually have it on my computer. He scanned it and sent it to me. And I did ask for the original, but he was like, nah, I keep all the originals. I was like, dang it. But it was such a good photo. It looked stunning. And that was the oldest technology I'd seen, like, actually having a photo of me taken. Like, using that box. He just looks down, turned the handle once, took the lens off, waited for a couple of seconds, put it back on, turned it again, pulled it out, and waited for it to develop. It was like, what the hell? It was crazy, but it was really cool. And the color was... It was like an Instagram filter, but it was natural. It was all browns. And half of my face was quite dark, and it, like, gradiated down, and then half of it was quite light, but you could still see me as a Ghostbuster. It looked really cool.
When I first started working for a living, I worked in a camera shop for, I don't know, about a year, I suppose. I didn't know anything about cameras. And this was just when digital cameras were coming in. And the difference now is massive.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be, you'd take 12 or 24 or 36 exposures. You couldn't see what it was going to come out like until for weeks normally, or if you had your own darkroom, hours. So you really had those photographers to really understand the process of taking photos, to understand that it would be exposed properly, and when they're developing, manually blocking out the light with their hands to burn darker areas. So there was a level of skill that has always been there for photography in one way or another. Nowadays, you can take 35, 40 photos in a couple of seconds of a picture and choose the one that's right, but there's still a load of work that goes in to editing the photos afterwards. So it's the same levels of skill. It's just a very different approach.
Like the things you've done for photos of myself, for example, and the photos you did for Beast Awakens, and all the other amazing photos I've seen you edit, and you just look at that and you think hours of work must have gone into that. But then maybe with the point where you are at now, it might even take like half an hour to edit a photo. But the reason you've gotten that good is because of the years you've taken to learn how to do it so quickly. For example, I messaged you asking whether you could help me out with layouts and stuff for my stream, and you helped me out with all the buttons and everything. Everything's, the background, the introduction, the stream starting, stream ending, all that stuff. You've done all of that, and it's just absolutely amazing to see.
Well, I'd never done it before, so it was a great time to learn a new skill. So, I enjoyed it. I
genuinely appreciate that every time. And I try to throw money at you, but you just I try.
You do, but I'm going to carry on saying no.
One day, especially when we do the photo shoot, me and Harry have both said, like, it'd be nice to just give you something for it, because the traveling you got to do, and like, you got to take time out your day, and
so have you though. This is the thing. This
is going to benefit me and Harry a lot, like, because these photos are going to look so. Because I've seen your work. These photos are going to look so good, and to get them for free would be a crime. I think it would feel like stealing.
But what you don't understand is I'm getting it for free. I'm getting your time and your costume and all the hundreds of hours that you've put into it to develop this, so I get to take great pictures. That's my reward. That's what I want.
It's just. But we're gonna sort something out for you. Absolutely. Whether we have to chase after you dressed as Creeds, waving wads of money around. I think
that would make quite a good photo.
That would make quite a good photo of just you running away holding your camera, and us like, we've got money. Genuinely, that was absolutely fantastic. Can I ask you one last question? And the question I ask most people when they're on here is, where can we find you?
The easiest place to find me is either Facebook or Instagram. Just at Shooting Cosplayers.
Shooting Cosplayers,
yeah.
Awesome.
I've got a question for you.
I'm sure my mod will throw those up. Say again.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
So you've got a tractor.
Yes.
And a workshop.
Yes.
And you make amazing 40k cosplay.
Yes.
When are you going to make a Land Raider?
See, we had. Do you know what's really funny? Do you want to know what's really funny?
Go on.
Is I had this discussion with my friend Marcus ages ago. When I was a kid, this is a whole tangent now. You've started something off here now. When I was a kid, I used to go, and I've forgotten the name of the place, but I used to go to this little fun park place with my mum and dad. It's my favourite place to go to. And they had the Cowboys and Indians trail. It was like a Cowboys and Indians trail, and there was a train and these two carriages, and they were proper, not the genuine ones, but they were like, the little wheels with the little dolly and everything. And the train was a Ferguson TE20 tractor that I've got with the bonnet and everything removed and the wings removed, and they'd built a frame around it, because one time when we went, they had a loader tractor there lifting the frame of the train off the tractor because they needed to repair the tractor, so they needed to take the frame off of it. But the frame they had designed to fit on the anti-roll bar. There's an anti-roll bar on the back of these tractors, not always, but they had those two posts. They took the frame out and they left the two holes, and they used those as mounting points for the train cab and everything, and the funnel and all that stuff. And I remember them taking off, and I remember going over as a kid and just watching these machines because I loved tractors and stuff. And when I noticed it was a tractor, I knew what tractor it was, because this tractor I've got here has been my dream tractor to own since I was a kid. I have such a love for tractors. I'm a mad boy for tractors. But looking at what they did, and I just thought to myself, there abso-freaking-lutely is a way that I could make a plywood. It would be plywood.
Yeah.
And I could absolutely make it wide enough so that the steering could still turn within it. Yeah. And that it would be low enough to the ground that I could make it look like it's got tracks. It would not touch the floor. It would blatantly not touch the floor.
I love that you've already put thought into this.
No, dude. This question has been asked me since I got this tractor like 3 years ago. People have been asking me this question, and my friend Marcus was in the workshop not long ago, and he asked me about it, and I said, "Well, there would be a way of doing it, and you could put the piece of ply on top with a hole in it where I sit on the tractor, and just have my head pop out, and I could steer it and drive it, and it would just be absolutely insane." I want a tank, but Artemis won't let me. Sad faces in the chat, but I've never gotten around to it, because not only that, it would be I wouldn't have anywhere to use it. Yeah. It would be like a one-shot thing for shits and giggles, and it would be so much money and time and painting and investment just to make this frame that fits around it. And then once it's done, lift it off, put it outside. I have no place to store it. I'd have to put it outside, put the tractor back into the shed, and it would probably rot in the rain. So it would be completely
impractical. But think of the glory.
Massive waste of money, but I've planned it. And that's like one of the best parts. So that's just huge tangent there for people, wanted to who hear that, like, because I know Games Workshop have got theirs. They've got an actual tank that they've converted a little bit into a Land Raider. Rhino. Sorry, a Rhino, and that Rhino is amazing. It starts up. It's got a little petrol engine in it. It's got a 4-cylinder petrol engine in it, and it actually works and moves. When they had a fire there years ago, they had to move it. Oh, right. There's videos of it on YouTube driving around. They just drive around. You have to have a license to drive it. I think you only need like an excavator license or something to drive it, because it just classes as a left, right, forward, backwards, like skid steer, if you will. It's the loudest thing on earth apparently to sit inside. But I've wanted to, since seeing it, I've wanted to ask Games Workshop whether I could stand on it in my Iron Warrior and do the saxophone video on top of the Iron Warrior, and I've wanted to do it since, but there is no way. Their health and safety alarms would be going off. They'd be screaming. It would be funny though, because I would have to get onto the tank first. I'd have to get all my stuff handed to me. I'd get in the trousers on top of the tank, in the feet. Harry would dress me and then jump off, and then pictures would be taken, and a video and everything. But they would never, in their life, even consider that. I don't think. Maybe one day.
Yeah, they will.
If there's a time where someone starts a petition or starts emailing Games Workshop once a day, every day, and just yells at them to let me jump on their tank. We shot in front of it. Yeah, it was cool. I've had pictures next to it and stuff, loads, and it's a hell of a thing.
I've never been to a Warhammer convention where there are cosplayers. Is that normally a regular thing? A yearly
So
thing?
they do open days at Nottingham where they actually have the tank at Games Workshop HQ. Basically, it's Forge World. It's where they make all the models and everything. That's where their main base is, in Nottingham. But they have an event once a year called Warhammer Fest. Last time it was at Coventry in the Rico Arena. I think they're moving it next year, or they're meant to move it this year even. I don't know if they're moving it. I think they're Birmingham. They had it, and I think they're moving it to Birmingham, or back from Coventry to Birmingham. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's an event specifically Warhammer Fest. It's all Warhammer. It is basically just Warhammer. You know, anything Games Workshop make, it's there. And we go there as cosplayers, a bunch of us, as the Adeptus Habitus. We go there. There's a load of us that go. Next year, hopefully it'll be back, and we're going to go again. We'll have to see if we can get you to come along with us, because we have Dave Sinclair, who does photography for us, but I know he wants to Rogel Dawn it up with us. So when he's in Rogel Dawn, he won't be able to take pictures, so it'd be cool to have someone to take pictures for us. Ooh. He also does videos for us as well, and bits and bobs like that, so we'll have to work something out. That'd be really cool. Ooh. But can I just say thank you to everyone who has been in chat. We've stayed at 6 viewers and more quite consistently throughout this one. This has been really nice. I really enjoyed chatting to you. Can I just say one more time, thank you so much for everything you've done. Not just coming onto my stream, but for helping me make T-shirts. Those T-shirts have just flown off. I literally sold one today that's going to Russia. That's super cool. It's just really, really nice to just have the friendship that we have as a community and stuff, and just for us to try to help everyone, and I like that. So I'm looking forward to our Krieg photo shoot. That's one I'm really, really looking forward to. And I know I've got 2 photographers who've asked me to go somewhere with the Space Marine to do photos, but it's really funny. You can tell that they're inexperienced with cosplayers, unlike yourself, who's more experienced with cosplayers. They want to go to places like, oh, I need a shot of you like doing this or doing that, and it's like you can't do that in the suit. Like, you know, it's just like, it's crazy. But you know, you have to explain to them. There's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can actually, you know, all that stuff, and it's kind of interesting to see. But hopefully, after I've done those, we can arrange one with the Iron Warrior or something at some point. That'd be really cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
And I can put money in your pockets secretly without you looking. Anyway, right, thank you so much for coming, and I genuinely want to thank everyone for coming along to listen to Richard and myself chat away. You can find him at Shooting Cosplayers on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm sure we'll probably do another one of these sometime in the future. I know I've got the announcement stream this Saturday, and then we'll see what happens from there. I know I'll be taking a short break for a bit and getting a list of guests in again, and then I'll be starting these again every Tuesday and Thursday. So from myself and the amazing Richard Burge, who is Shooting Cosplayers, thank you so much for coming, and bye for now.
Thanks, everyone.